Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to dive straight into unpacking a truly fascinating, highly metaphorical source text today. It's called The Quantum Matrix of Everlasting Love. And honestly, this piece is like a giant puzzle. We're going to break it down together, piece by piece. If you're into dissecting how language, spirituality, and modern scientific concepts all collide, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get right into it. The author hooks us literally from line 1. The satellite from heaven gave me a signal of love. Right away, the text just demands our attention because it's smashing together two totally different worlds. I mean, we've got a satellite, right? The ultimate symbol of modern human engineering and digital communication, beaming down a signal not from outer space, but from heaven. It's an absolutely phenomenal hook. So, the big question we're going to be exploring today is this. How exactly do quantum mechanics, simulation theory, and ancient theology actually meet up in this text? How is the author building a bridge between our current digital age and these ancient spiritual truths? To figure that out, we need to take a really close look at the poem's underlying themes. Section 1. Signals from Heaven. Blending the divine and the digital. Okay, notice the stark divide in the vocabulary here. We've got these modern high-tech terms like satellite and signal sitting right alongside deeply traditional Christian theology, words like heaven, the cross, and the Holy Spirit. The really interesting thing is that the author doesn't treat these as opposing forces. Not at all. Instead, the tech terms are used basically as delivery mechanisms. The satellite is literally delivering the divine message. And what exactly is that message? Well, that initial satellite signal leads directly into these foundational instructions for the believer. The cross directs the spirit to keep working on oneself. It's a direct call to self-improvement. Then, by giving one's best, the believer is said to be attracting the sun. And finally, it grounds the whole narrative by placing the loving Holy Spirit firmly in the eternal kingdom. So this super high-tech opening instantly drops us into a very personal spiritual directive. Section 2. The Quantum Language, a modern linguistic framework. Now, the author coins a completely unique phrase here, the quantum of word to light. The text describes this as a spark in the future of wise that actually holds the secrets of God deep within the heart of the soul. Notice how that word quantum, which implies those fundamental indivisible units of energy and physics, is applied to the transition of word to light. It's basically framing divine secrets as if they're precise, energetic mechanics operating inside us. It's kind of like imagining God as the ultimate quantum physicist. And this linguistic blend just keeps building. We start running into terms you'd normally hear in a physics classroom or maybe a computer science lab: space, time, evolution, and simulation. Yet they're paired directly with concepts straight out of the book of Genesis. We get the serpent, a planet in heaven, and the secrets of God. The author is taking the literal language we use to describe our physical universe and mapping it onto a spiritual reality. The text even points out that believers are deceived by the serpent, but then they learn from our mistakes inside this overarching evolutionary framework. Section 3. Remembering Imaginary Eve, the Emotional Core. Now, this might just be the most striking part of the whole text. It reads, "Remembering Eve, my wife, searching for her message of love. We are one body, and she is imaginary." Amidst all this dense talk of quantum light and satellites, this chorus becomes the emotional anchor. But it's a massive paradox, right? How on earth can someone be remembered as a wife, be part of one body, and yet simultaneously be imaginary? Well, the answer lies in the poem's own internal logic. In this context, Eve doesn't represent a literal historical figure from the past. Instead, she represents a future state. It's an imaginary, idealized pursuit. The author isn't looking backward to find her message of love. They are looking forward to attract the glory and ultimately hit that goal of everlasting life. She's an imaginary construct, pulling the believer's spirit forward through time. And why is this concept absolutely crucial? Take a look at this number, 4. This exact stanza about the imaginary Eve repeats 4 distinct times in the source text. It's the chorus. It's the heartbeat of the entire poem. The author literally refuses to let you forget it, making it clear that pursuing this imaginary spiritual union is the inescapable core of the whole message. Section 4. The Matrix of Faith, Spiritual Mechanics. So what is faith in this modernized context? The author explicitly defines the book of faith as the simulation of my choice. Just think about that conceptual leap for a second. Faith isn't framed as just blind belief anymore. It's a conscious, chosen participation in a simulation, kind of like choosing your own spiritual virtual reality.
And inside this chosen simulation, space, time, and evolution are not random or chaotic. The text insists that every chapter is a work of perfection. The universe is presented as a perfectly coded environment, perfectly designed for the believer's journey.
Okay, so inside this simulation, what are the rules? The text gives us very specific, step-by-step instructions from God, which are noted to be full of love and happiness. First, faith is taking action. It's dynamic, it's not sitting around passively. Second, salvation is my attraction, meaning salvation isn't just handed over, it's drawn to the believer through their actions and energy. Remember how they were attracting the sun earlier? Same concept. Third, it requires a sacrifice of fruits, which implies bringing a tangible offering or showing some real-world result of your spiritual labor.
And that leads us right to the title concept itself. By executing that sacrifice of fruits, the believer unlocks the matrix of truth. The text defines this matrix as the measurement of God, manifesting directly as the fellowship of Christ in my heart. So the matrix here, it's not some dystopian computer program trapping humanity. In this vision, it's actually the ultimate state of spiritual realization. It's a measurable, divine fellowship that you achieve through your actions within the simulation of faith.
Section 5. Achieving everlasting life. The ultimate goal. We see this definitive end goal loud and clear in the repeating refrain, a future to attract the glory, to have everlasting life. Everything we've been talking about, overcoming the serpent's deceit, learning from our human mistakes, taking concrete action inside the matrix, it is entirely designed to pull the believer toward this ultimate, glorious future. To really cement this, let's map out the complete narrative arc. The whole journey sparks to life with a digital divine signal coming from a heavenly satellite. From there, the believer has to navigate the physical world, overcoming the serpent's deceit simply by learning from human mistakes. They have to consciously choose to act on faith inside that chosen simulation, which gets them into the matrix of truth. And finally, driven forward by the pursuit of the imaginary Eve, they attract the glory required to achieve everlasting life. It's an incredibly structured, almost algorithmic path to salvation.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative thought to ponder today. How does the language of technology change the way we view the ancient secrets of the universe? The quantum matrix of everlasting love really shows us that as our tools and our vocabularies evolve, going from ancient scrolls to orbiting satellites, from old myths to digital matrices, the way we articulate our deepest spiritual yearnings evolves right alongside them. The mechanics of the universe might be quantum, but the search for everlasting love, well, that remains remarkably human. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.